3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans? Welcome to the one and only Pig Trail Network YouTube show. Yeah, man, tough one tonight for the Razorbacks. Tough one. So, we'll get to it in just a second. I've got plenty to say. Honestly, I don't think there's anything to be mad about. I mean, I know everyone wants to vent about officiating, and I don't blame anybody for being like, what the hell? I mean, I say this every post game. Yeah, SEC officiating is not good. We should understand that, right? But, again, SEC officiating is not why you lost. I feel like I have to clear that up, too, because I get people that, they'll either DM me or something, or they'll say something in the comment section later like, stop blaming officiating. Well, I mean, SEC officials are bad. I mean, everyone knows that. Hell, I mean, you've seen teams on every SEC team. Everyone complains about officiating. I get that. I do. I understand that. But, like, people who don't follow SEC basketball know that SEC officiating is just not. It's not top tier. It's just not. But you didn't lose tonight because of SEC officiating. You lost because you turned the ball over like 100 times. Way too much tonight. Shot selection in the later part of this game was not good. First half it was really good. So, all right, we'll get into that in a little more. A little bit more. Oh, does that kind of look at that? Do me a favor if you guys would like the video, the stream. Like it. Share the content. Little crooked-looking arrow somewhere on the corner of the bottom of the screen here. You can share the content. And tap the subscribe button if you haven't already. Not top tier. It's shit tier, says Jenna Mayes. It is bad. Again, there's nothing... It's the typical fan thing to do, and especially when you're in the SEC. And look, Hawk fans just have a vendetta against... no matter the sport, against SEC officiating. We just do. I get it. But, yeah, I thought shot selection later in this game wasn't very good for Arkansas. You turned the ball over too much. That's why you lost. Play good enough, and you won't have to rely on, or you won't have to be concerned about bad officiating, right? Like, you should know that. And I'm sure Eric Musselman knows. I'm sure that guy probably files a complaint I'm sure he's already filed a complaint. I'm sure he's already on the phone filing a complaint with the SEC. Those guys down in Georgia. I'm sure. But, like someone told me in my chat a while back, let Musselman handle the officials. Stop complaining about the officiating. Which is bullshit. I mean, come on. Of course fans are going to complain about officiating. I think you have to outplay bad officiating. That's the bottom line. I will say, and I saw this, I scrolled up through Discord. I saw John Hawes, is he in here, complaining about me not following him on Twitter. Earn my follow, John. Earn my follow, sir. I'm just kidding. I'll follow you. After this shitty day, I'm choosing to see the good. There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Seeing the good, there's nothing wrong with that, baby. Show the good. There's nothing wrong with being positive. Seeing the glass half full as opposed to half empty. I think that's something humans just do naturally. It's a survival thing, It's how just how we see everything is negative. It's sometimes good to flip the script, be a little positive. I loved Arkansas's fight tonight. They did not give up. They played till that clock was 0 across the board. I thought they played really good basketball. They held the lead for 90% of the first half. They held the lead for about 60% of the second half. Against a really good Tennessee Vol team who, when they're ranked, did they say top 10 or just ranked? They don't lose at home. And that's generally most top 10 ranked teams. They're ranked high for a reason, but they don't lose at home like a lot of people. This year, home court advantage isn't really a thing. 50% of away games have been won this year for the visiting team. But it is still, you're away from your 15 fans that are in the stands that are allowed into the stadiums. I was really impressed with what I saw out of this team. They didn't give up. Tate, how about Tate? I mean, yeah, that last drive with the when the clock was winding down, that was just a free for all. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're going to make something happen. But before that, he made a big time bucket, kept Arkansas in it. The guy plays outstanding defense. I feel like I brag about Tate every post game show. So impressed with his defense. Fouls out a lot. You're going to see him generally in the first 3 minutes. He's going to be the hog with at least a foul or two. I'm drinking Blue Moon tonight, by the way. What are you guys doing? Can't drink, I'm just going to have the one ice cold beer. After this, I got Kyle Sutherland and myself are going to record the Hog Talk podcast. So I'm going to try and keep this one short. But this Blue Moon's for you, Hog fans, and it is the Mango Wheat. They are not a sponsor. I just enjoy Blue Moon. They're really good. Brisk. Yeah, I was impressed tonight with them. I was impressed with Tennessee. Tennessee showed a lot of fight. They're good. With their loss to Bama, and then it's not like Arkansas we know has tons of talent. They've got it. They've got it from top to bottom. Size, all the stuff, rinse and repeat, copy and paste. The same thing we say every time we talk about Arkansas basketball. They are much improved. Look at rebounding compared to last year. They're probably down in some other areas like 3-point shooting compared to a year ago. But I just like the way they fought and they stayed in this game. They held the lead. It looked like, and this is something they've struggled with even when Mike Anderson was here. Against quality opponents, it's just so hard. And that doesn't mean ranked opponents, just quality opponents. They have a hard time building any kind of a lead. They have a hard time adding on and pulling away. They just always have. I can't figure it out. Of course, they didn't have Justin Smith, too, by the way. That's something else. That's another thing. Had you told me that it would have been this close, I would have said, did Justin Smith miraculously, did he play? Like, how they did this without Justin Smith tonight. But yeah, I can't understand why they couldn't build on that lead they had in the first half. I think they got up to, an 8 or 9 point lead. Maybe it's 8 point lead in the first half. And they just couldn't build on top of it. And you got to give Tennessee credit. Tennessee did everything in their power to stay in that game. They made some key buckets there, and of course that last second point or last second bucket by was it JD Note? I think it was JD Note with that last second. I mean, that was almost Michael Qualls level. Of course, that was to end the half and to add on to your. I think at the point, I think you're up 7 at half. You're up 5, and then he made that huge. Momentum swing bucket there at the end, but yeah, just not enough gas in the tank in the second half. I guess Tennessee's just that good. They're at home, and gotta give them credit. Now you got to prepare for what's next. I told you guys the beginning of this SEC schedule is brutal. It is brutal. Thank God they got the one. They got the one against Auburn. Now you've dropped 2 in a row. You've dropped back-to-back conference games. The Mizzou game, they did better at the rim. They finished at the rim a little bit better, but still you had a moment there with a minute and a half left to go, and Connor Vanover, who shot the 3? Was it Tate that shot the 3, and Connor's right there in perfect position, 7'3". The guy could reach the ceiling of the stadium, and he can't get the putback in. It was so key. It would have tied the game up. I think it's 73 or 75 points. And nothing. He couldn't get it. I still just cannot for the life of me figure out why he is so terrible at the rim. He can't finish dunks. He can't get the putbacks. He did get one tonight. He got one putback at least tonight. But he missed on another, and a key one, a clutch one. And I can't figure out why this guy cannot get it figured out in and around the rim. They still are struggling on the layups. I don't know what they finished tonight. It was better, but still wasn't. It would have been good enough for average with the layups. I wish I would have kept the layup percentage that Arkansas's missed, but it's embarrassing. It's like it was below 50% or around 50%. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's one of the highest percentage. It is like the highest percentage shot you're going to make behind dunks. What's our percentage on missed dunks this year? They're awful at the rim. We got a hint of that in non-conference play, but just thought, well, okay, they'll get that fixed. Like this team is too long. They're too big, especially in the paint. You've got Connor. You know, you're going to have Ethan Henderson, who's really rotated out. Now he doesn't even see the court because Justin Smith, Jalen Williams. How about Jackson tonight, huh? Jackson tonight was incredible. But, you have these other guys, and it's like these other bigs. You got more bigs. They're bigger than Ethan, and they're still terrible at the rim. It's still terrible. It's embarrassing how bad they are. If this was last year's team, that's understandable. That's understandable. Guys, they need size. You'd probably hear me say that every week. I'm not saying that. I'm not making up any damn excuses for their play at the rim. It's embarrassing until they get that solved. It could be, I thought they had a good shot at winning the majority of their home games, and they will. I still think they will. And I said on the Hog Talk last Friday, I said with Cabo, who co-hosted that one with me, right? Or was that the week before last? I can't remember. But I said I liked our odds at winning out or maybe only dropping a couple of games to really good teams. Maybe Mizzou, maybe I think Florida, maybe Auburn, because we hadn't played Auburn yet at that point. No, not Auburn. I'm sorry. Maybe it was Auburn because you do play Auburn. LSU, you've got some tough home games. But I felt like up until that point, Arkansas had a legit shot at, again, only dropping maybe a couple of really good games at home. If you can't get things figured out, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you can't get things figured out on layups at finishing at the rim, you're gonna drop some more games, and all of a sudden, my faith in this team making the tournament may not. I don't know. I still think they do, but if they can improve on that more, they did improve a little bit. They got a little bit better, but if they can't drastically turn that around, guys, I don't know. It is embarrassing how bad they are there, and I could rant. I got to record this podcast tonight with Kyle. I'm probably going to rant for 20 minutes about it. It's embarrassing how bad they are at not finishing at the rim. They're horrible in the paint. It's like if they can't get hot outside or 15 feet or out on the perimeter, if they can't get hot, they have to get real unique or they got to get to the free throw line. Now, tonight they were able to avoid that because they were smart. They moved the ball around really well. I like Moses Moody moving the ball, giving up some points that looked like he'd kick it back out or, they would move the ball around out in the perimeter. They took much better. They didn't try too many low percentage shots. Simple shots. You had, of course, like I just mentioned, Jackson stepped up, Tate stepped up. Seals was cold. And I'm going to say this too, and I'll get to your comments here in a second, I promise. Tate did step up. I like the way he played in those final minutes. We're probably going to need that from someone like Desi Seals. Moses Moody. I'm not even going to say Connor Vanover because I'm not convinced right now he's a big offensive weapon. I like what he does as far as spreading the floor out. I like what he does as far as spacing it out. When he's outside, like they're going to have to bring their big up. Their 4 or 5 is going to have to come up and play him out on the perimeter, get a hand in his face because he is a threat outside. I mean, he drained a 3 tonight. He's good for, I think, maybe a 3 or 2 threes a game. I like what he does, but on the offensive end, he's not really a scoring threat. And they talked about him tonight. Well, when he's not hot, he's not really shown us, especially in conference play. Now, maybe I'm forgetting what he did in the Auburn game. I think I am forgetting what he did in the Auburn game. What did he do in the Auburn game? But so far, I've not been really blown away by him on the offensive end. I like how he does force shots. He forces you to adjust your shot in the paint. But they scored over him. They scored over him tonight. Now, you don't bench him for half a game for that. You can't. You don't bench someone who's 7'3" and is a threat out on the perimeter and can do the things that he can do. But he's just got to, I don't know, he's got to get more physical. He's not going to get any more powerful. Boy, they love to point that out. He doesn't have strong legs. You hear them talk about that every time he plays. We know probably not going to be able to build up on his frame a whole lot, but he's going to have to play a little bit more aggressive. He did there at one point. He had one nice, really good putback. He muscled for that ball and to get his arms up and to put that ball in, and he did a good job. He hustles on defense. Is he athletic and quick enough to get up and down the court? Has he kind of slowed down your half court? Yeah, he has. He does. He's not super, but again, he's a 5. He's 7'3". You don't expect those guys to go running up and down the court. This isn't Daniel Gafford, who for his size was so quick getting up and down the floor. That's not what he is. I know you guys know that, but some fans have a hard time understanding that. So he kind of slows you down in that part of your game. But he's got to get tougher on the offensive end, and he needs to be someone who you can feel comfortable with having the ball under the rim. And I don't. Justin Smith changes that. This team is different when Justin Smith is on the floor. He's clearly a team leader. He's clearly someone who I feel more comfortable with having the ball in his hands in the final minute and a half of a game when it's a 2-possession game or whatever the case, close game. Justin Smith is but he's out. He had successful surgery, and it sounds like he's going to be back. I didn't hear a time. I didn't hear a timestamp, but I think he's going to be back sooner than later. And I think they originally projected him, I think, at like 3 weeks. I think now it's cut down to maybe 14 days under the next 2 weeks. Let me read your chat really quick. Oh, we're just now at 20 minutes. We're doing good. Jimmy Dykes is an idiot. Jimmy Dykes tries really hard to not come off as biased towards the Hogs. If you hear him talk about whoever the Hogs are playing, you would think the Hogs are playing the best team in the country. Tennessee's good. Mizzou's good. But I've seen him call games, and it's like he just tries so hard to pump the brakes because he's afraid people are going to see him as bias. Moses Moody disappeared like Houdini. Moody did. And thanks for the comment, Joe. I really wanted him to step up. Nothing against Tate. Tate is not a guy who's going to get you a whole bunch of buckets in the final final 3-4 minutes of a game. He's not someone who can take a game over. Moody is that guy. Justin Smith can be that guy. J.D. Note can be that guy. And Desi Seals can be that guy. But back-to-back games, we just haven't seen anyone really step up and take that role in the final minutes. And you're going to need that. I think Moody's capable of it. Fulkerson had a game. Let me scroll up here. Vanover got boiled in the paint the whole night and missed a free layup that was important, and we could not get one call. I don't disagree with that. You're just not going to get the calls that you want, especially on the road. You expect the home team to get home cooking. You just expect it, and it was, and it wasn't. Yeah, they were getting home cooking. That wasn't the issue as much as, Arkansas couldn't drive. Like Moody tries to drive the lane, he gets murdered. They were talking about that in Discord tonight. He got murdered trying to drive the lane tonight. Seals at one point. Who was it that there was another outside of Moody? There was another player that got just dropped. Was it Tate? Who just got dropped trying to drive the lane. You just couldn't do it. All of a sudden, you would see 3 big Vols, converge on the guy driving in the paint. And that's the way you play great defense. That's fine. But there'd be loads of contact. But if that was on the other end of the floor, it gets called like that. And I don't have a problem with them swallowing their whistle on that. Call that on both ends, and they just didn't. They gave there was a trip foul that was definitely a trip foul. They're going to call that 90%. I think again another point brought up in our Discord. You're going to get that call. The offense will always get that call if they trip over a defender's leg. It's a tripping foul. May not be a super obvious foul, but it's definitely a foul. That one hurts, but I appreciate their fight. I agree, Mike Lane. I do. I agree. Do a snow dance. I want to work on my PJs tomorrow. Is it supposed to snow tomorrow in Northwest Arkansas? I didn't see that. I hope it does. Not that it matters. Glad to see Tate go out of his comfort zone and come up big for us with that final 3. That was huge. SEC refs clearly wanted to save their poster child. I don't really jump on the conspiracy train. I just think it's just a good old dose of home cooking. It's what it was. I just wish they would call these things on both ends. Call those fouls on both ends. When Moody can't even drive the freaking lane without getting absolutely murdered. And then you go to the other end of the floor and Tate makes minor contact with his elbow, and that's immediately a whistle. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's an example. I mean, obviously it was probably a little more than that. But we have a lot of growing up to do. We were good, but no superstar with the game on the line. I agree with that. That's a really good – I agree. They don't have someone – Tate did good tonight. This was a good night for him. It was a good night for a couple of Razorbacks. It was good for him and Jackson, who I just thought – I mean, Jackson is a guy – his shot selection is usually awful. He takes awful shots, contested shots, low percentage shots. You don't like seeing him toss the ball up out on the perimeter. You don't like him shooting for the nets out there. Like, that's not his game. And he proved a lot of people wrong tonight. Showed that he's capable of doing it, at least after this shitty day. I already read that. I'm choosing to see the good. Kelly Marie again. I like that positive. I like the positivity. Mrs. Growlove, how you doing? Hey, Ty, we shot better. Turnovers killed us. I agree. Yet, so glad it wasn't a blowout. Me too. I really thought this was going to be like a 13, 14-point loss, which you would have been happy with. You would have been okay with. It's a really good Tennessee team. And when I mean happy with, you know what I mean. You would settle with that, you know. You said it, Ty, you can't win a game with 20 turnovers. Yeah, I agree, because I said it. Thank you, Lance. I appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. Sills, put up a goose egg. Sure did. Sills was not good tonight. Someone said KK Robb was in a boot. I did not see him in a boot, but he was not back on the floor. Vanover brings down the rebound with 25 seconds left. Yeah. They again, you have to be able to finish at the rim. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You've got to be able to finish. You got to be able to finish in the paint. If you're going to drive the ball, if you're going to try and drive an open lane, which they didn't see very many open lanes tonight, but we've seen it even in non-conference play where you were nervous when they would try to do that. And Arkansas has struggled with this before under Mike. I can remember several years back, but they still found a way. They had guys that could drive the lane, and even though it would be ugly, could still get some buckets inside and force them to foul or whatever, you know, and could find ways to finish one way or another. Wouldn't be pretty. This year, it's completely different. It's like you've got all the things that you need. You've got all the right ingredients for a really damn tasty soup. But something's just not right. And you don't know if it's too much salt, too much pepper, not enough seasoning. And that seasoning is finishing at the rim. It's what you're missing. You know, again, had Connor made that putback, had you not turned the ball over umpteen times in this game, you probably walk out of Tennessee with a win. With your first road victory since 2000, what'd they say, 6? Vanover is nothing but a novelty. I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, again, his defensive play is it's okay. I mean, people have shown they can make shots over his long arms, over his long body. But what he does is he forces you to adjust your shot. And we have seen him, we've seen him completely shut down, well, in non-conference, but, you know, again, that's non-conference. But we've seen him really affect an offense in a way that can really bother teams on the offensive end. That's what he's capable of doing. I don't know about a novelty. I'm not going to go that far. J.R. Shelton. All I feel is pain. Undefeated with Justin Smith. You are undefeated with Justin Smith. Need to get him back out there. Michael Manley. If we don't improve, I see Coach being on the hot seat, especially if we lose a ton of games. No. Moody needs to be better. Moody just needs to be better. Is Connor overrated, Ty? All I heard was how good he would be for the Hogs, and it doesn't seem like he is besides a few times. I mean, we've only played 3 conference games. I mean, don't jump off the ship. You guys, oh my gosh. Don't jump off the ship yet. Like, you know, you played back-to-back ranked teams. Should have lost to Mizzou by like 20 points. You play Tennessee down to you get one call to go your way, you might have won tonight. Connor does things on the defensive end that is really important. There's not many 7-3 guys, first off, on the floor. And there's not many guys that offer the threat. When you're talking about like the pieces on the board, he stretches you out on the floor. He forces you to come out and do things a little bit differently when a big has the ball. Typically when a 5 or a 4 has the ball out on the perimeter, you're not gonna play to that. You're not gonna come up and try to guard him because you don't expect him to shoot a 3, and even if he does, you don't expect him to make it. It forces defenses to play him differently. Forces them to stretch things out. It's supposed to allow you to move inside, maybe get some buckets. We just haven't shown. That's not on Connor Vanover. That's just, I don't know. These guys just can't. They just can't seem to get the easy buckets inside. Now, it is on Connor when he's down in the paint and he has the ball, and they're trying to get him to do something, find some sign of life down inside. He's just not shown that he's the guy to do that yet. Again, I'm not willing to say he's a novelty or that he's this or that. I never said he's going to put up 25 points a game. I never said that. I like what he does in terms of forcing you to alter your shot, what he can do for you on defense and rebounds, things like that. I was hoping we would see his game kind of show up a little bit more on the offensive end, but it just hasn't. It just hasn't happened yet. And it may not happen at all this year. So, yeah, he's not your typical transfer either compared to some of these other guys who've played 2 or 3 years somewhere else. He didn't play for Cal until the very end of that season, of his last season there. Then he had to sit out last year. So I'm not willing to jump off the Vanover train yet. I like what he offers you in terms of rebounding and blocking shots and things like that. That's what I appreciate about his game. On the offensive end yet, he just hasn't found it. He's not an automatic putback guy like he should be for someone who's 7'3". I'm not jumping off ship, just on the edge. You do need Justin Smith back. Justin Smith is the closest thing to Corliss. I had someone ask me that on the last live show. He's the closest thing you've had. I'm not saying he's Corliss. I'm not saying he's big nasty. I'm not saying with him you go to the Final Four. I'm not saying that. But what he does for you on both ends of the floor, he is so pivotal. And they need him back now. They need Justin Smith back. Going to have to wait a little bit. Going to have to figure out, who you can rely on. Maybe that's Jackson. I have a hard time believing he's going to be able to do that the rest of the year or at least without Justin Smith. And we got to remember, too, when Justin Smith comes back, how long does it take for him to come back to his original self, right? How long does it take Justin? You remember when Isaiah Joe came back, different injury, but when Isaiah Joe came back, it took him a couple of games to kind of get settled in. So just because you do get him back sooner than later this year, that doesn't mean he's going to be like he was before he got hurt. All right, let's go over these numbers really quick. Tennessee shot, look, they weren't exactly terrific from 3-point range. They were 5 of 18. That is not very good. That's below 28%. But on the floor, they were 27 of 60. Shot under right around 45%. 26 free throw attempts to Arkansas's 10. Yes, some of those came at the final seconds of the game. Up until the point Arkansas needed to foul, it was still like 22 fouls or something, 22 fouls to Arkansas's 10. Well, in terms of free throw shots. I'm done talking about officiating. It just is what it is. You have to play good enough that you can overcome this kind of officiating. Again, it wasn't the worst. The LSU game on the road last year is still one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. But tonight wasn't exactly anything to brag about if you're a fan of SEC officiating. I don't know who is outside of the SEC. But for them, Fulkerson was a problem until he got a little banged up. He had 16 points. He shot 6 of 11 from the floor. 4 of 6 from the free throw line, but their leading scorer, well, they had 2 of them tied at 17. Bailey and James both had 17 points. They got a little bit of production off their bench, but Bailey was the majority of it, 17 points. He had a rebound, a steal, and a block. So it's good to have someone come off your bench and do that for them. Arkansas had some help off their bench tonight. J.D. Notte, once again, 19 points off the bench. Jackson, who played a lot. I don't know how many minutes he played. That hasn't pulled up yet. He played a lot, and the guy was honestly terrific. 5 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 6 from three-point range, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. He ends the game with 14. I was really pulling for him to get a double-double. He was just shy of the double-double tonight by 1 rebound. What a game for him. This is what you expect. This is what Justin Smith was doing. He filled in for Justin Smith tonight. Did a really good job. It would have been nice to have Smith out there, but yeah, again, Note was your leading scorer. Of your starting bunch, your leading scorer was Tate with 15, who just really came through big time. He shot 7 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 2 from three-point range. Moody he had 6 points. Majority of his points at the free throw line. Again, you were 8 of 10 compared to their 20 of 26. So, it's, again, when you're turning the ball over as much as they did, they ended up turning the ball over 20 times. They turned the ball over 5. There's your key. Plus 15 for them in turnovers. That's not Arkansas's game. Tennessee's just better at it, and that's why they're ranked top 10 in the country. They force you to make mistakes. They force turnovers. They get to the free throw line, and that's their game. And they've got talent to back it up. They got size, length, depth. They can rotate. They ended up rotating 9. Arkansas rotated like 8 or 9 guys in the first half. I don't think we've seen Muss do that all year. So you asked a lot of your bench, and you got some great production from your bench tonight. That's something else we need to be positive about. So yeah, 40% from three-point range, 8 of 20, and then you shot great. Again, your shot selection was much better on the floor, 29 of 55, so it puts you right under 53% shooting from the floor. Arkansas falls to 9-2, 1-2 in conference play. Tennessee 2-1 in conference play, 8-1 overall record. They're going to stay in the top 10. Arkansas's, you want that respect. Again, you've had 2 opportunities, back-to-back chances here. You were in on that game against Mizzou, even though you were awful, even though you weren't moving the ball around. I don't know how many assists they had last week or that last game, but you had 12 tonight. I think they had like 5 the entire game against Mizzou. So they moved the ball around better tonight. You had an opportunity. You had back-to-back opportunities. Hog fans want that respect, and the Razorbacks just couldn't deliver. It's unfortunate. Hopefully they can bounce back. Doesn't get much easier. Does not get much easier. You got to play Georgia. Who did they win tonight? They're 7-2 on the year, 0-2 in conference play. But Georgia has, I think, let's pull them up really quick. What have they done? Arkansas is favored at the moment to win that one. They lost on the road. Yeah, that went to overtime, didn't it? 94-92. LSU has no defense. I don't know if you guys have watched them play. Their defense is terrible. They do not play defense. They're a high-scoring. They're like Alabama. Well, no, that's not fair. I was going to say they're like Alabama in football. Alabama plays defense. I don't know. They're like a Big 12 football team. They have all offense, no defense. Although the Big 12 did play better defense this year, but how much of that was because of COVID and everything? They're not a conference that's really ever been known for great defense, at least not in the last, 15 years. But anyways, back to basketball. Got Georgia up next. It's going to be, on the 9th. It's on the SEC Network, 2:30 p.m. I don't like that. I don't like the mid games. Either give me 11 or give me like a 6 or 7 p.m. tip-off. So I like Arkansas's chances in that, but Georgia could be a matchup issue too. Who knows? So Doug Stubbs, what's up, Doug? How you doing, man? At 55 years old, I have a higher leap than Connor. His timing to jump is slow. He is bad timing. And I think his feet are like that far off the ground when he jumps. He just cannot rebound, he cannot get the putbacks. He's just not someone you rely on. He can't get the easy dunks. Can't get the putbacks, but he can rebound. He's there when the ball's, when it's coming down off the rim, he's there. He does a great job. He just reaches over somebody's head and plucks the ball out of the air. But why not let Johnny play some to help him get game fit? Scrolling up here, let's see. Mizzou didn't beat us. We took terrible shots, says Mike Mary Hoggard. No, Mizzou beat you. Yeah, no, Mizzou beat you. They were bigger, physical, in your face, tough, up and down the floor, played pretty good in transition. They just were better. They're a better team. They're ranked top 20 for a reason, just like Tennessee. I think you learned a lot from that loss against Mizzou, and you saw them. I think they just went after it. I think Musselman really got on them, worked them hard. No, Mizzou beat you. Tennessee didn't beat us. Okay, here we go again. It says Mike Mary Hoggard. Tennessee didn't beat us. We couldn't hold on to the ball. Has nothing to do with the way they played defense. Seals needs to sit. Yeah, back-to-back bad games. Worst in his career, I think you could argue. I wasn't referring to anyone in this chat. You should see any Razorback message board right now. Oh, they're probably a dumpster fire. Time for Muss to send a message to Desi, says Billy. Seals is in a funk. Says, is it Nisha? Sorry, I don't have my glasses. Nisha Lachey. Seals is in a funk. Maybe he should come off the bench next game. Maybe. Yeah, we've seen that work before for certain players. Maybe it'll work for Desi. I don't know. I left some of those Facebook groups. Some of them are pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Razorback Nation can be a little tough. It's gotten a little bit better. I think someone's kind of taken over Razorback Nation. They're booting the trolls, which is, I don't mind you venting, but, when you get way, way, way off subject in your Facebook group when you're not even talking about Razorback sports, and they're just getting real toxic, yeah, they got to go. Moses has to be more aggressive. Quit sitting for the perimeter shot. He's too strong and athletic. I don't know what his issue is. I shouldn't say – it's not like he has an issue. He's just not really stepped up into that role we were really hoping that he would step up into that role. He hadn't done that yet. Tennessee may be good at turning you over, but how many of our turnovers were unforced? Yeah, there were, and I agree with that. Especially J.D. Notte. Tate kind of worries me a little bit, especially when he's trying to drive. It just looks like every time they drive, they're going to turn the ball over, and it seems like half the time they do. I don't disagree with that. If Jackson can continue to play like he did tonight, when Smith returns, we'll be tough out. I agree with that. Could you imagine if he builds on top of this game? It's got to be a confidence booster for him. Ty, you hear about Tennessee football coach about to be? No, I haven't. I have not heard that. Even after this loss, Ty. Even after the loss, show Ty some love. Hit the like button, right? Yeah, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, Doug. You're the man. Doug Stubbs is the man. A good team will respond after this. We'll see Saturday versus Georgia. The good news is you're at home. So Ash Reacts says they're like Florida in football. Ah, there you go. That's a good comparison. I'll take that. I'm just saying this now. All these teams can leave our coaches alone in football. I hope so. Stay away from all of them. Got to keep them all. Especially Rhodes. People don't talk enough about Rhodes, man. Like that guy, what a job he did with the linebackers, man. He had them ready to go. He had them ready to rock and roll. With wish Muss would call a timeout when the other team goes on a run. You're not the first person to say that here. MA wouldn't come close to playing with these teams. I don't know about that. Depends on what year. What his roster looked like. Mizzou played us tough. Then we went out and lost bad next game. I think Mizzou came into that game they wanted it more. That's what it looked like to me. They wanted it more. They played aggressive. They played just really solid basketball. So tough on the defensive end against the Razorbacks that night. I mean, there was no easy shots. They were all contested. Great defense. So, yeah. Okay. Ty, did you see Fulkerson miss the dunk after the whistle? Are you talking about when he got hurt and then he came back out? I mean, I thought Jimmy Dykes was going to cry. Poor guy. His man. God, Jimmy, come on. At least pretend like you acknowledge that you went to school here. Good Lord. We call not being able to jump wearing floor Jordans. I like that. Floor Jordans, all right. I think Muss's philosophy is okay. I think where are my glasses? Hang on. Good Lord. Gotta put them on. Here we go. Okay. I think Muss's philosophy of jacking a lot of three-point shots ruins the mid-range shooting mentality of the better players. Threes. Well, they're probably taking these threes because they have no inside game. Not really. I don't know. I can't explain it. Okay, they're coming off. Give me a headache. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of wearing these. You're not entirely wrong. I do think there's times where I'm wondering if he's telling these guys, you know what? If you think you've got an open three, just take it. No matter who that player is. We didn't see a lot of that tonight, to be fair. But there have been times this year and last year also where it was like, why? Why? Jackson was terrible at three-point range until tonight. Maybe that's why he does it. Because he got hot. Without him tonight, what does Arkansas do on both ends of the floor? Without his game tonight, do you think Arkansas is even in this game? I don't know. I thought he played great. He's my MVP of the night. He really is. I love the way he played. And Arkansas, again, did not give up. They stuck it out. I hate looking at their 1-2 conference record, but it is what it is. Okay. I do appreciate you guys. Remember to like the stream. I'm trying to get I know this was a big ordeal here a little while back about the donation button. I don't know if it's back or not. I can't see it, but I finally got my AdSense. Basically the way YouTubers make any money outside of ads, and you don't make a damn thing off ads. But I finally got my AdSense is good to go. So for those of you who are wanting Super Chat to be back, it should be back. I don't know. I can't see it. But so that for those of you who've been asking me about that, and I know I didn't really. I told you guys for the longest time, do not donate there because I didn't have my AdSense. I don't know if some of you remember that or not. Finally got it. Finally got it all dealt with. I got my. I can't show you the number, but I finally got my Google AdSense thing in the mail, and I got it all set up. So finally, hopefully we can get that all. If you can't see it, hopefully it's up next time. I don't know. But so happy to get that dealt with. I've been trying to figure that out for to be honest, everyone's telling me get your AdSense fixed, get it fixed so you can set up your ad revenue and donations and Super Chat, so you finally have Super Chat back. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it eventually. Finally got around to doing it like a year later. So I don't see Super Chat. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll see if it's back up, Joe. I'll see if I can go in and work it. But yeah, so again, if there is still the PTN Patreon, Doug Stubbs, he was there. I think he's still there. Okay, so it's not there. Mike says it's not there. Okay. Again, I'll work on it. We'll get Super Chat back up for you guys. So yeah, you also join the PTN Patreon, and there's also a PayPal link. Also, Hog Talk Podcast link provided for you as well in the box, the description box. I will do a post-game after Alabama. There will be a post-game show for that as of right now. Again, you know how things are, especially in the Hudson household. Things get a little wild, a little crazy. Plan is to be live for that game, for the post-game. So, unfortunately, it didn't go Arkansas's way tonight. Turnovers killed them. We've gone over that. Wish they had a few more trips to the free throw line. Didn't work out that way. Nobody should be surprised, but you lost because you turned the ball over too damn much. And I thought, again, in the chunk, about halfway through the second half, I thought their shot selection, it just looked rushed. Some of the shots were contested and didn't see as many corner pocket three attempts tonight, but you saw them turn the ball over with them stepping out of bounds over there. I wish they would just stay away from the corner pocket. I really do, out in the perimeter. So, okay. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream. Hope you enjoyed the last edited video it's not the most recent, I should say, edited video out there for you if you want to go watch that. It's about Barry Odom and the big-time 4-star offensive tackle Crawford who just committed to the Razorbacks. So if you want to watch that video is available for you. So, yeah. Until the next live stream, Woo Pig Suey, I'll see you guys around. You behave yourselves now, okay? Be good. The week is almost over. It's almost over. I'll see you guys around. Woo Pig.